The error that you are referring to was a clerical error. It was an administrative error. The administration maintains the position that this individual who was deported to El Salvador and will not be returning to our country was a member of the brutal and vicious MS-13 gang. That is fact number one. Fact number two, we also have credible intelligence proving that this individual was involved in human trafficking.
But that's also when mistakes get made.
Right.
And I think a human being plucked out of nowhere and ending up in a country he's never been in a maximum security prison with gang members, seems like a bad thing to happen to me.
Yes, Caroline shut down fake news Atlantic story that the Trump administration deported Maryland father by mistake. The truth, he was an MS-13 gang leader tied to human. They have proof about this man, and the mainstream media is freaking out about this. Joe Rogan reacted to this. I don't know if you've seen this. I'm going to play the video so you can see exactly what is going on. A lot of stories are coming out that the Trump administration is deporting people that have not committed crimes here and there. I've seen Atlantic, CNN talking about this. At a certain point, I'm actually speechless. I just want you to take a look at this video.
You said you'd seen evidence that this man was a convicted gang member. In what court was he convicted and for what?
This individual was an MS-13 ringleader. This individual was also engaged in human. And I'm glad you brought up this point again, because I would like to point out that if you just saw the headline from the insane failing Atlantic magazine this morning, you would think this individual was Father of the Year, living in Maryland, living a peaceful life, when that couldn't be further from the truth. They didn't even mention in the title of that article, or even in the first paragraph, that this individual is an illegal criminal who broke our nation's immigration laws. He is a leader in the brutal MS-13 gang, and he is involved in human trafficking. And now MS-13 is a designated foreign terrorist organization. Foreign terrorists have no legal protections in the United States of America. And this administration is going to continue to deport foreign terrorists and illegal criminals from our nation's interior.
But a judge ordered that he should remain in this country. So are you saying that it is okay to ignore a judge's ruling if you don't like it?
Who does that judge work for?
He's an immigration
It was an
judge.
immigration judge who works for the Department of Justice at the direction of the Attorney General of the United States, whose name is Pam Bondi, who has committed to eradicating MS-13 from our nation's interior. And let me tell you why we've made this commitment. MS-13, may I remind each and every one of you, is a brutal and vicious gang. These are vicious criminals. This is a vicious gang. And I wish that the media would spend just a second of the same time you have spent trying to litigate each and every individual of this gang who has been deported from our country as the innocent Americans whose lives have been lost at the hands of these brutal criminals. The error that you are referring to was a clerical error. It was an administrative error. The administration maintains the position that this individual who was deported to El Salvador and will not be returning to our country was a member of the brutal and vicious MS-13 gang. That is fact number one. Fact number two, we also have credible intelligence proving that this individual was involved in human trafficking. And fact number three, this individual was a member, actually a leader of the brutal MS-13 gang, which this president has designated as a foreign terrorist organization. Fact number four is that foreign terrorists do not have legal protections in the United States of America anymore. And it is within the president's executive authority and power to deport these heinous individuals from American communities. It is a promise he campaigned on. It is a promise he is keeping. And every single person in this room should be grateful for that, considering especially MS-13 is very prevalent and prominent here in the District of Columbia, in Maryland, and in Virginia. And the president, the attorney general, everyone who has been involved in these operations is focused on eradicating these criminals and terrorists from our communities.
The vice president said he was a convicted member of MS-13. What evidence is there to back that up?
There's a lot of evidence, and the Department of Homeland Security and ICE have that evidence, and I saw it this morning.
Yes, you can take a look at what exactly is going on. This is coming from the White House press secretary. The information Joe Rogan had was like, it is real. This man is a nonsense. Till today, this information is coming out. Joe Rogan was like, no, this should not happen. And CNN reacted to this. First, take a look at what Joe Rogan said before we go into the video of CNN's court calmly dismantling these people to prove what is happening.
But that's also when mistakes get made.
Right.
And I think a human being being plucked out of nowhere and ending up in a country he's never been in a maximum security prison with gang members, seems like a bad thing to happen to me.
It's horrific. It's horrific.
I don't think that should be controversial.
No, that's not controversial at all. And this is the thing, measured twice, cut once.
This is kind of crazy that could be possible. That's horrific. And that's bad for the cause. Like, the cause is, let's get the gang members out. Everybody agrees. But let's not innocent get lumped up with the gangs, and then, like, how long before that guy can get out? Can we figure out how to get him out? Is there any plan in place to alert the authorities that they've made a horrible mistake and correct it?
Well, if you think about it from a government perspective, and this is where I think it gets quite sinister, is once you've done that, the incentive structure is never going to be to admit that and deal with it. The incentive.
Isn't this exactly what we denounce other countries for doing? Not giving our own citizens, when they get wrongfully detained around the world, our own citizens the due process that they deserve?
Well, I think multiple things could be true. Number one, I delineate between American citizens and everyone else. If you're a U.S. citizen, I put you in a different category.
On due process, that's not a distinction that the law makes.
Then if you've come here and broken our laws and committed violent acts or murdered and raped and whatever, I put you in a different category.
When it comes to the law and due process, that is not a distinction.
Well, if you'd like to argue that Trinidad or Aragua should have the same rights and that you get as an American citizen, go ahead.
Here's the argument.
Change the Constitution.
Hold on a second.
The
argument
is
is
you're saying that a terrorist can walk across the border and become effectively a U.S. citizen?
That's not what I'm saying.
Hold on. Scott, look at me. Okay.
Yeah, let's give the host
you and I are
Welcome
talking.
back.
You and I are
Let's give
talking.
respect.
Okay.
What
I'm saying to you is that the law does not make a distinction between U.S. citizens and everybody else when it comes to being accused of crimes. Are you saying that should not be in place? That if you happen to not be a citizen, you get to be thrown into a jail with no process at all?
I'm saying that these people are effectively terrorists. They walked across our borders illegally.
Okay.
They are violent. And I don't really want them
here.
But
doesn't the government have to prove that they are who they say they are?
Correct.
That's
all we're saying.
That's all.
I think.
I mean, you can say it.
Eventually,
it's not a concession that you like Trinidad and Aragua. It's just a question of the basics of civics in this country.
I think eventually the government will have to show all of its cards on everybody that they have detained, deported, or done anything to in this arena. But there is no doubt that the Trump administration is rounding up effectively terrorists who came across here illegally, committed horrific acts, and do not need to be in this country.
They are doing that, perhaps, but they're also doing a lot of other things, too. And that's why the courts are asking questions about it.
Yes, this is the information the mainstream media is putting out. I have seen articles saying the same thing, like this person is wrongfully detained. So at a certain point, I don't know what exactly to actually say, because when you look at it, the White House press secretary made it clear today this person is not a nonsense. Yeah, they have evidence against him. Before they should mention this, if that means there is something, yeah, he has links to these people. If possible to me, if they can show it so people can actually see, so before they can believe this. Because at a certain point, I'm confused. Yeah, if he was wrongfully detained, it is possible that he should be allowed to go. Yeah, that is just what I'm thinking. If the White House is saying this repeatedly, then we need to take it serious, because the mainstream media will always continue to push the narratives every single day. I've seen this over and over, people arguing about this since this happened. Thank you guys for always been sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. If you notice, for the past 2 days, I was unable to put out videos like I do daily. I took a short break. Throughout the years, I create videos every single day, struggling to show you what is happening in around here. But I decided, let me rest a little. Reasons I was not able to create videos like I do before, Henceforth, we will continue to put out clips every single day. I thank people who reach out to me, through my email, like, what is happening? Everything is okay. All the channels are okay. So please continue to share out videos coming from this channel.
And finally, new rule to those on the right who keep asking me, Bill, you're so good at roasting the woke nonsense peddlers. Why don't you go all the way and join us? Let me give you the short answer. Because I don't want to live in North Korea everywhere and scribble his genius ideas into their notebook.
Friend comedian Amber Ruffin has been fired as host of this year's White House Correspondents' Dinner. The Correspondents Association president, Eugene Daniels, said the decision was made to take the focus off the politics of division and concentrate on honoring outstanding journalists.
The Trump administration is not scoring any points in international diplomacy these days. Duh. For one thing, he's shipping J.D. Vance up